Hello. Welcome to today's Creatrix Live. You can catch me live on Instagram every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. So we can chat about all things soul strategy, mindset, and embodied leadership for your business. So if you are a coach, a healer, a spiritual or heart-centered service provider that is leveraging social media to grow your business, then this is for you. Today we are going to be talking about the number one hack that you can use, that you can literally start using today to start collapsing timelines to your desired results in your business, okay?
Welcome, I'm Kelsey, soul embodiment coach and biz mentor, helping women soulpreneurs unleash their creatrix CEO so they can build a business they love, express their magic in medicine, and live their version of happy, successful, and impactful.
Creatrix Lives are all about giving you the tools to step into your creatrix CEO self, which is that empowered badass bitch version of you that is in it for the long term, that's making the long-term choices, which are sometimes the harder choices. Our brain wants the comfort, our brain wants the security, our brain wants all that, guaranteed safety. And so our brain is one of the things that holds us back from making those powerful moves, from doing the thing that we know it is we want to do, that we know it is we could be doing, right? If we were to step into the fullness of our expression and our soul transmission and just own that shit, our brain is that little voice inside that's like, oh, but that's scary. And like, oh, but like, what if something went wrong? And oh, like, what if you end up disappointed, right? So having a growth mindset is all about, in my opinion, having a growth mindset is, well, how do I want to say this? There's an easier way to cultivate a growth mindset. You don't have to be pushing your boundaries or your edges all the time, right? Having a growth mindset isn't about putting yourself in that like martyrdom place. You can use growth mindset in cycles or in these systems, which is what we're talking about today, the 90-day system, to give yourself those baby stepping stones, to give yourself those sort of growth spurts, or like little mini growth spurts, right? So growth mindset is the key, and using a 90-day system or a 90-day plan is how you can really start to leverage growth mindset in a way that actually feels good for you, in a way that actually feels empowering for you, in a way that you can actually lean into it fully, all right? Because let's be honest, no one wants to do hard, scary shit all day, every day. Like, that's gonna frazzle your nervous system. That's gonna leave you feeling depleted. And that's not what we're about. That is not what we're about, right? We're here to do business in a way that feels good. We're here to show up for the big, scary things, to push our edges, but in ways that are gentle, if you will, on our nervous system, in ways that leave us feeling empowered, like, oh, I can do this. Look at what happens when I show up for a big thing or for a scary thing. Like, that experience of doing one thing just gives you more power and fuel and self-confidence to go do it the next time around, right? And so like thinking about growth mindset in this way of like, how can I give myself these little baby growth spurts in my business so I'm not trying to do everything all at once and I'm burning myself out, right? So let's get into it. I'm just checking my notes here. So this is what tends to happen, right? Is when you're feeling good one day about your business, about how it is you want to show up online, how it is you want to speak to your audience, how it is you want to connect with them, how it is you want to talk to them about your offer. And then when you get in the nitty-gritty of actually completing some of those tasks, like making the post or like writing the post, actually getting it out online, right? Or going live in your community or engaging with your people and your audience. When you get into the nitty-gritty, your brain starts to spin and you're like, oh my God, but I have to have this. Like if I want to put this post out, then I need to have XYZ taken care of as well. And I need to have the website. I need to make sure my website is up and running. I need to make sure all the website on my copy is perfect. I need to make sure, that I have like my email sequence figured out. And our brain starts to spin going, we need to do all the things right now for this to work, for this to be perfect, for this to be right. Okay. Does that sound familiar? Excuse me. I know that was something I was continually battling with my brain was this, I would go to do one thing and be like, oh my God, but there is like this drop down of all these other things that I need to get accomplished as well, right? And so I would go to accomplish this one task and I just couldn't, because my brain was like, but all the other stuff as well. And so then I would be in action paralysis, I would be in analysis paralysis, and I wouldn't even get the one thing that I showed up to get done, right? Another way this kind of tricky brain shows up for us is we will decide on a plan. Okay, I'm gonna post 3 days a week, every week. That's what I'm gonna show up for in my business. Rain or shine, I'm gonna get 3 posts out there. I wanna be consistent in that way. I wanna show up for my audience in that way. It's decided, it's done. And I'm gonna do reels, let's say, right? So I'm gonna post 3 reels a week. And, you know, maybe like a week into it, your reels aren't getting the kind of traction you thought they would. Nothing's gone viral yet, and shouldn't like reels go viral, right? Everybody else's reel is going viral but mine. And so your brain starts to spin. And the next thing you know, you're researching like all the hows around how to make your reel go viral and how to, like what to say in your reels to make people buy. And all of a sudden you're in this rabbit hole, and it's 2 weeks later and you haven't posted a single reel because you're trying to perfect the reel process instead of just letting yourself take that messy, imperfect action and like literally develop the skill in real time, right? So your brain's looking for, you know, you've downloaded all the freebies about how to create a perfect reel, the perfect formula for a viral reel, and download this like reel content calendar so that you never know, or that you're never questioning what reel should I make today, right? And you've like downloaded all the freebies and you're just in this rabbit hole of searching. Meanwhile, the reels are not getting out to your people, right? So this is how your sneaky, cute little brain is always kind of like, you know, looking for the next thing, looking for the shiny object, looking for the next answer or solution, or really it's looking for the secret or the flawless formula or the silver bullet, the magical method that's gonna make all of the, you know, in between, the messy manifestation middle, like go away. Your brain is trying to bypass the experience, okay? So real growth mindset for me, it's about finding the ways to stay present, to be in the messy middle of the manifestation, to be in the development space or stage, if you will, where you are actually building the skill. Because that's, you know, going viral isn't, you think, your brain thinks that that's what you need. Your brain thinks that that's what you want. That if you could just go viral, then your business would explode and everything would be perfect and you'd be making all the money. That isn't the truth. That isn't the truth, right? Because if your reel went viral and everything exploded and people were banging down your door, but you still didn't have the confidence in your message and you still didn't know how to connect with your people, with your soul-aligned people, how to speak their language, how to communicate exactly what it is you do for them, and, you know, what you can provide and what you can't. Like, if those, like, skills, those personal sort of development skills aren't cultivated, and you go viral and everyone's knocking at your door, you're probably gonna have a breakdown. You're probably gonna burn out. You're probably gonna wanna burn the business down because you're, like, so frazzled because you don't know what to do. You don't know what to handle it. You don't have the, you know, the constitution for it, right? So being in the messy middle is absolutely the hard shit that we don't want to do, that our brain doesn't want to do, but it's the stuff that's gonna dramatically transform the way you show up for business and do business and run your business, right? So this is what being a creatrix CEO is all about. It's the long-term vision. It's learning how to work with our brain and our growth mindset so that we are not constantly searching for the secret that we think somebody else has that we don't. It's actually being in the growth phase. It's creating the most delicious, comfortable growth container for yourself so that you actually stay in it and do the fucking growing. You know what I mean? So this is what the 90-day cycle is all about, okay? So we use the 90-day system or cycle to give our brains a playground and a container to go all in on our business and a particular plan, like a particular strategy, right? And so basically this is building a little, like I said, like a little container for your brain, because your brain needs boundaries. It's like a wild cat, right? It needs a container. It needs boundaries. It needs boundaries where we go, nope, like we are not going there. This is where this ends. Like this is your fence, this is your cage, this is your container, and you can play within this space, but you are not allowed outside of it for these 90 days. And so what we do is we go at something for 90 days, and your only job in those 90 days is to believe that that thing's gonna work and to execute on it. And by work, I mean, not necessarily like that posting is gonna go viral, but that posting regularly or posting those 3 reels a week is going to draw in your soul aligned people, is going to get your message out there, is going to reach all the nethers of the internet and draw people into you, right? And then your only job is to believe hard in the thing that you are doing, that it is actually moving you forward, and to just play and lean into that as hard as possible for 90 days and just execute on the thing, and not deviate from that plan, not switch strategies, not move from reels to some other type of post, to just go in on the thing for 90 days. Now, this is why this works. And this is why it collapses timelines overall, right? Because every time you start a thing, and then your brain's like, shiny object or squirrel, and you're switching, you're going down the rabbit hole, searching downloading all the freebies for how to make your reels go viral or whatever. You're just, I don't want to say wasting time. I don't want this to sound disempowering, but you're bypassing the time. Like, the path is right in front of you. Post reels regularly, right? And as you post reels regularly, you're going to get better at them because it's a skill. You're going to get faster at them because it's a skill, right? So the more you can just lean into the habit of posting reels regularly, the better they're going to get naturally. The more you are going to come into your voice or your dance moves, right? The more you are going to see and connect with what your audience responds to and what they don't, and just go harder on the ones that your audience is really loving, right? The more you're going to feel authentic in front of the camera. All that stuff is going to develop naturally, and this is part of your soul's plan. But every time your brain is like, oh my God, but it's not good enough, it's not working, and you start putting your power outside of yourself into the silver bullets or the secret strategies, like somebody else has it figured out and I don't, and I'm missing something, like all of that disempowered self-talk, it's just taking you off the path that would have gotten you to the result faster, right? And so we're this is the path that your soul's laid out. Just do reels 3 times a week. I'm just making that up. I'm not saying that everybody should do that. I'm just giving an example, right? Here it is. Here's the path laid out in front of you, and your brain's like, oh my God, but what about this? Oh my God, but what about this? Oh my God, but what about this? And so you're taking 8 times as many steps as you need, burning yourself out, feeling exhausted, spinning in circles, because you're always coming back to the thing it is you need to do, to the thing that your soul is calling you into, right? So it's just easier in the long run to stay the course. It's the harder thing in the moment to stay the course because your brain wants to bypass the messy middle, right? So how do we combat that? We create these growth spurts for ourselves, these growing containers, so that we can go hard on a thing and actually have an end in sight, right? So that's what the 90 days does. It gives you an end in sight where you're like, for the next 90 days, all I'm doing is this. I am 2 things, right? Going hard on my mindset game, going hard on my beliefs that this is working, that this is working, that this is working, that this is working, that this is getting me to my end result faster than if I were to fly all over the place, right? and just to execute on it, to just show up and do the real, to take imperfect action, to let it be messy, to let the skill, whatever it is, develop naturally instead of trying to force it so hard and come off inauthentic. And that inauthentic stuff, like your audience might sense that, but mostly it's for you. Like if you are showing up in an inauthentic way, trying to force something instead of letting the skill develop naturally, you're going to feel icky and you're not going to show up for it consistently. Therefore, it's not sustainable, right? So just, this is how we create those little growth spurts or like little growth containers or stepping stones that get us to the milestones we want in our business. Does that make sense? So I want you to think about, oh, here's the other thing I want to say here. After the 90 days, like after that sort of end game, what you then do is you step kind of outside of the messy middle of being in the process, and you put on those objective eyes and go, okay, what worked? What didn't in these 90 days? How can I like execute or show up even better? Like where do I actually need to lean in a little deeper here? Is there anything in this process that I can kind of like nix or eliminate? Is there anything I want to add? Right? It's really we're looking more at what worked and how can I do more of that? And how can I show up for that in a bigger way? And how can I turn on my energy in that thing that already is kind of working and feeling good for me and my audience? And how can I just go harder on that, right? And you stack another 90-day cycle on top of it. This is how we're building that skill. Whatever it is, right? Whether it's writing copy or posting consistently, building out your messaging, engaging with your audience, right? You just start stacking these 90-day little growth spurts on top of each other, and boom, staying in it is the thing that's going to get you to where you want to go way faster than like roaming all over the place, letting your brain roam all over the place instead of letting your soul lead, okay? So here's the thing. I want you to think about, what are you doing right now? Like what is one of your goals in your business right now? Is it posting consistently? Is it getting really clear on your message, on your messaging and how it is you want to communicate to your audience, like what it is you do, the problem you solve, right? How you can serve them, how you support them, right? Is it, I don't know, like whatever your goal is right now, like what do you want to get better at? What do you want to do consistently? What do you want to show up for in a bigger way? You can create your own 90-day system right here, right now. So pick the thing, right? Maybe it's like doing lives or showing your face, right? Maybe none of your content has your face and you're like, I really like, soul is calling me to just put my face out there and be brave and not hide behind the camera, or, you know, hide from the camera. And I know that that's something that soul is calling me into in my business, but like, oh my God, right? Just pick the thing that is already on your heart, that you are already being drawn towards, that your inner creatrix is already pointing you towards, and decide that today you're gonna create a 90-day plan for showing up for that thing. And every day you're going to do a little mindset work. You're going to go, I can't believe this is working. Look at how this is working. Look at how this is working. Before it even feels like it's working, you are practicing this belief. You are going hard on it until it almost feels like a little delusional. But here's the safety net. It's not delusional because you have that 90-day end point or that boundary where then you get to step outside and look at it from that objective view and go, what worked and how can I do more of it, right? So this is how you get to play the delusional game while not like falling off the deep end, because you're actually building these systems and structures where you can collect the data of what is working and leverage it. This is what being a creatrix CEO is all about, right? It's the energetics and the practical pieces of business, okay? So start today, seriously. What is the thing that is already, maybe it's something you've tried before and then, you know, did the whole like rabbit hole situation and set it down for a while and you're ready to get back in the game. Maybe it's something new that you haven't implemented in your business before, but you really want to try it, right? What is that thing that's already on your heart that creatrix, your inner creatrix, is calling you into? Because this is your opportunity, like starting today for the next 90 days, this is your opportunity to lean into that so hard with all of your passion and your joy and your energy and your mindset and your beliefs. Show up and do the thing and delusionally lean into the mindset and the belief that it is working, that it is getting you to your end result faster, right? It is not my brain's job to ask the hows, to ask the whys, to ask the whens. It is my brain's job to show up and execute on this thing and repeat over and over again that it is working, that it is getting me to my results faster, right? It's staying in the game. And then you, as your higher self, as your creatrix CEO self, it is your job to sort of wrangle that brain. And every time your brain tries to step outside of that boundary, it's like calling it back in. We're not even thinking about that. Okay? The 90 days aren't over. We're not even thinking about that yet, little brain. We are just showing up and doing the thing and practicing these beliefs. We will think about that later at the end of these 90 days. Table it, put it away, right? That is what it looks like to really put on that business hat and collapse those timelines, get to your desired results faster, and build the skills for staying in the messy manifestation middle, right? This is why manifestation is so hard for so many people, is because we dip. We dip when it gets messy. We dip when it gets uncomfortable. We let our brain sort of rule make those decisions, make those disempowered decisions of, oh, this isn't working as fast as I want. Oh, this isn't feeling like so great. I'm like worried that it's not working. And then we make a disempowered decision from that place instead of staying in it, right? So that is your job as a creatrix. It is to wrangle that brain, okay? So that's what I have for you guys today as far as growth mindset and building those little growth containers for yourself so that you can build the skill naturally, stay in the game, collapse timelines, get to your desired results faster.
Thank you for watching, and remember, sharing is caring. If you found value in this video, please share it with a friend who needs to hear it. As always, we love your feedback. Please share with us your biggest takeaways in the comments, and for more personal interaction, come join the Creatrix community over on Instagram.